Hi Lakers, this video is to walk you through today's lesson. First, let me know how you're doing in Desmos. If you want to say more, feel free to type in the chat. And then begin reviewing midpoints in two-dimensional space. This is something that we looked at in our first quarter, but I wanted to review it with you. So what you're looking for is the middle of this line segment. And if you look at this point right here, we can see that it has gone 1.5 spaces horizontally and 3 spaces vertically. And that same distance is traveled from the middle to the other end point. Here's another 3 spaces down and then 1.5 spaces horizontally. And so that tells us that our midpoint is at 2.5 and -1. And if you need a reminder of how to calculate the midpoint, there's a quick GIF about the formula. As you keep reviewing, use the sketch to assist you in finding the middle. Here's another one where I want you to plot the points. For example, point A is at 10, 1. And there is point A. Plot point B and find the middle. Please apply the midpoint to an application of a bookstore, cafe, and where is the middle between these two stores. Now, once we've reviewed some two-dimensional midpoints, let's look at how they relate to 3 dimensions. Here is an image of a 3-dimensional graph. First, let me know what you notice and wonder from this image. Then, drag the perspective point up, down, left, right, and in a circle to be able to see what I am seeing, and so you can see all of the 5 points in this 3-dimensional space. Then play around in this link. This is going to take you to GeoGebra, where we can plot coordinates. Say we had coordinates x value of -2.4, y, let's say 8, and then z, I'm going to make it 0, just to show. There we go. Now when we plot it, we just slide it. First they'll do x, and then once we hit that x distance, we move along the y-axis. And I'm going to zoom out in my graph so you can see how the z value is plotted. And notice it does not go above that xy plane. Now let's change that value to say 3. And once we adjust the slide to plot it, we can see that the z-axis has moved up. That point is 3 spaces up. So please share a notice and a wonder, and then keep moving. Look at the graph. Here's a sketch. I'm trying to find out what are the coordinates of point F. And then also think about which plane is shaded gray. And if you'd like, click on the graph and you can see it in GeoGebra. You can increase it, decrease it, and you can also click on that F point and you can move it around to see it, say, from on top. You can flip it around and see it upside down, all different ways. Here it is, back straight up. And then apply this idea of a 3-dimensional graph to the midpoint. find the middle. What are the coordinates of M? And there is a link to a solution. I would encourage you to try it on your own before you go to this link. Here is what we have in our formula packet for midpoint. In the prior learning section, here's the two-dimensional midpoint formula. And in the geometry topic, you'll see the three-dimensional midpoint. These midpoints are just average of the coordinates. So we find the average of the x coordinates, the average of the y coordinates, and the average of the z coordinates, and that will be the midpoint. Now let's put this to practice. Here's a scenario where we have a rock climber at R, and they're about to climb a rock. Someone else is on the rock, and we need to determine how high they are above the ground. Use the sketch and the coordinates to help you. And then find the midpoint. What are the coordinates of this middle point? In this next one, please finish the cuboid. Draw parallel segments to assist you. You'll just need 3 lines and you'll complete your cuboid and sketch vertex B. You can easily click on the T and type B. Then sketch the coordinates of the points in the ordered triples below. So for example, A1, well, that has gone out 4 spaces on the x-axis, and it has gone 0 spaces on the y-axis because it is directly above the x-axis, but it is above the x-axis, so it has moved up on the z-axis 2 spaces. I'm also going to look at B1, and this is actually B1. And B1, excuse me, has coordinates of 4 initially on the x-axis, and then notice that it goes out 5 spaces on the y-axis, and lastly up 2 for the z-axis. So continue finding those points. And then the second half of this practice is using the line tool to find the diagonals from, say, A1 to C, and then also from A to C1. What is the midpoint of A to C1? And then explain what you'd expect to find if we calculated the diagonal of A1 to C. And for a different effect, I'm going to change the color of the second diagonal. Oops. There we go. And so explain what you'd expect to find when you calculate that middle. In the third practice, label the coordinates of points A and B, and then use the line tool to draw the diagonal from A to O, where O is the origin. Then we want to find the midpoint. Where is that midpoint? And what are the coordinates of that middle? In this last application, you are told the middle and one of the endpoints. We know A, we know the middle, but where is B? What are the coordinates of that point, the other endpoint? And if you want to look at the real graph, excuse me, click on the link and you can see the GeoGebra graph. Use it to assist you. And then back in Desmos, make sure to write your answer as an ordered triple. You are welcome to check your answers from practice 1 and 2, 3 and 4, and then let me know how it went. Please slide the slider to let me know where your confidence was. And if you want to share any more, please do. If you'd like some additional practice, go to the next slide, and you're looking at a cuboid and finding the dimensions, applying three-dimensional graphs to finding the surface area, the volume, finding the middle, and then also going into a different topic of trigonometry and looking at how we can calculate. So here's a Desmos calculator link for you to use. And then if you go to the last slide, you'll see my detailed solutions. Please stop by the Google Meet to ask any questions, and I hope you're having a great day. Thank you for watching.